Hi there, this is Brandy Gustavus, and this is my screen recording for how to navigate through my eCampus course. I haven't taught this course in a couple semesters, so there are some revisions I'm going to do for the following 2018, so some of the content is reflected of last fall. When students first log into the class and they go to table of contents, here is the syllabus and introduction folder, and I indicated start here for it. Also, subfolders, I have the project information and MLA and APA guidance, as well as the MLA APA within this folder. Um, if you scroll down, here's a little introduction to the class that kind of aligns with the course objectives and program curriculum requirements. Now, after the QM review course, I find it very important to indicate the program objectives here, which program objectives align with this course, as well as the weekly content, and I'll show you where I'm going to put that. So this is a brief overview of this, and if you scroll down here, you'll go to project information. Here's another area with MLA and APA format, and an open discussion forum, which is usually not nested in here. I actually accidentally did that right before I started this. Usually it has its own category right over here. And then the PowerPoint slides. I find it easier because students find it overwhelming when they open up a weekly folder and there's, 10 different links to it. So I found it easier to do any lectures or PowerPoints in its own subfolders like this. And then that way, some students I find do not use PowerPoints and some do. So it doesn't look like a messy class or too overbearing when they click on a weekly folder. So when the students click on the weekly folder, they'll just come down here. And so for week one of this course, I have a introduction to computers, the chapter, the deliverables that are due that week, so the students know. Now, the only thing different is that I would want to put the objectives of the week as well as the program objectives alignment and the course objectives alignment right in this section. The syllabus quiz, biography discussion, and again, I'd want to put the correct curriculum objectives for every deliverable that you have. It's pretty self-explanatory. Students seem to like this course because it is self-explanatory and they could go right to it. Usually we have a discussion forum. And a quiz every week. Some weeks will have a case study or a VLab component to it. Of course, we don't want to overload them the first week, but if you scroll down here, here's the second week and the third week. And here is VLab. And again, I embedded a short video of the purpose of VLab, which is really important. But under the curriculum guidelines, they do have an alignment with the curriculum requirements. So I think that's very important to put here too, so the students knows what curriculum objectives they're going to meet. If you go up here, if you go under content, that's where you're going to find all this information. When you first log into the course, of course, these are pre-populated, but if you go down here, let's go to all of them. I try to provide a weekly announcements so students know kind of what we're going to be covering and the objectives. So here's my welcome announcement. I try to do something snazzy to get their attention out first. What I expect, reminders, soft reminders for future things like don't forget to spend this time preparing for your project that's coming up in week 15, things like that. I try to make these very specific to what we're doing. I try to release them on Monday mornings at 7:30. And of course, I have other ones that I will do manually as the week comes on. So this one is the Remind Me app for students. So the director can text them the different things for HIT. Um, I find that if I post manually, students seem to really feel like I'm engaged and involved. Even in the weekly announcements, I could not believe how many students said that other instructors didn't do that because I really thought it was a norm. Um, I'll go over after a few weeks, I'll go over a reminder for discussions because I really want them to focus on what I'm looking for. During week one, I provide a lot of guidance and I give full credit. During week two, if they do not meet the requirements, I will give them a 0 but allow them to repost to meet the requirements. And then during week three, then they should know the standards by then. Everything else is self-explanatory after that. Um, Typically, students don't click on the drop box. They'll go under content and look in the weekly folder. Um, all these tools are available to them. If you scroll down here, they could go to different links and stuff like that, the calendar and things like that. But that's basically it. eCampus is pretty straightforward. It's not as aesthetically pleasing sometimes as Blackboard and some of the other courses or LMSs that we have. But I will say that it's pretty self-explanatory and there's minimal negative feedback we get from students, or if something, a lot of times Blackboard, you don't click all the permissions and things like that. I find this system's actually pretty good to use. But if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.